What's up out there in video land? How you all doing this morning? Hopefully well. Thank God for this Sunday. It is a beautiful Sunday morning and I am at home. I don't have to get on a plane. I don't have to sleep in somebody else's bed at a hotel. Oh my God, it's a great day, guys. I actually did not sleep well. And I don't know why. Well, I know why. But I've been having issues with sleeping for probably the last 2 weeks. And it's really interesting to me. I've come to this crossroads in my life before where I know I'm bothered by something, but I don't know what it is. Have you all ever felt like that? I titled this live, how, when you made it through the storm, when you really have survived through some of the roughest times in your life, you may sometimes ask yourself, I know I do, what? Everything really, by all accounts, is going well, but I still feel extremely off. I just feel off. And typically when I feel off, it's because I know there's something that needs to shift. There's something that is not working in God's divine order. That's typically what happens for me. So this is my symptoms of when I know I need to shift. I become very annoyed by things that ain't that deep. I become extremely, I call it nervous energy. I'm already naturally a busybody, but I become just stupid busy, just moving like it's almost like being on a bike or a treadmill and staying in one place. I just have a lot of unnecessary movement. My body actually physically starts to do things like from constipation to diarrhea to my skin breaks out. I mean, you know what? I've grown to a place in life where even though, as I've gotten older, I'm like, boy, these bodies start tripping and things start happening. But I've grown to a place in life where I thank God for giving me signals that something is not quite right. I have learned what those signals are. And what I just described for you are some of my traits. Now, I don't have no issue sleeping. That is not a problem that I have overall. But in those times when I need to shift is when I can't sleep. I'm just wired. I'm just like got this nervous energy all day. And I sat back last night and I said, okay, God, what is this about? What is this about? Because guys, I have been through major storm. And I'm talking about a storm to the point where I didn't even know I could make it through that type of storm. Nobody that witnessed me or that was on either side of me going through this storm, meaning for me or against me, thought I was going to make it through the storm. But I made it, guys. I made it. And I didn't only make it, but I went through the storm well. When I say went through it well, I mean I went through storms in my life where I didn't came out, I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I literally, truly learned how to love those who despitefully use me. I literally made it. I mean, we hear this in songs today, and no. I'm not talking about just barely surviving in the storm. I thrived. It literally became the catalyst for my life, and it became the thing that kind of redirected me in the areas that God needed me to focus on. But even after making it through the storm, and it's interesting because I was in Staples maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, and they have this one area where they have all these like magnets and mugs and plaques, and I love quotes, and they have this area where they have all these things that have these really cool quotes on them. And I've mentioned this before on some of my lives, but this one really stuck out to me. It said, life is not about waiting till the storm passes, but it is more about learning how to dance in the rain. And guys, I learned, man, I was getting it in the rain. You hear me? I learned how to dance through phases of adversity. I learned how to survive and thrive in the midst of a storm and literally come out on top. But as I start to look back and as I start to chronicle my life and where I've come from and where I'm going and this position right now, I say to myself, God, I thank you for that storm being over, but something is still off. I still feel off. If there's anybody out there that really can understand what I'm saying, is when you get through the rough patches and you glad that's over, but it's still, you got to tweak it a little bit. Something is still not quite right. And so when I feel this way, I go into a crazy reading mode. Like, I read a lot anyway, but I always use the phrase that I need to turn down the noise. I need to make life quieter. I need to go in that quiet place. And for me, it's my car. Everybody listening to me, you need to have a place. You need to have somewhere you go when life becomes noisy. I don't care if it's the gym. You know, we got war rooms, we got closets, we got wherever. Mine is my car. Mine is when life is noisy and I'm trying to figure some things out. I'm like, God, I need some direction. This is when there's a book that I've had for years, and it's by Steve Marr, and it's called Proverbs in Business, and it's a daily read, and I don't even know if they're still in publication. I've had them so long, and this book is a book that really seems to really speak to me when I've read it over and over and over again, and he talks about different times. He gives you like all these proverbs for every aspect of your business that you could even think about, and it's always one section in there that when I'm going through this cycle that God gives me these words, and I just out the blue, it'll be something to focus on, and I'm like, okay, God, I get it. And he talks about, I don't care how smart you are, I don't care how much you've accomplished, there comes a time in your life when with all that you know, you still feel lost. With all that you've accomplished, with all the resources you got, the money, the people, whatever you could typically reach out and grab and kind of get you back on track, none of that really seems to work. And you feel still off. And that's the cycle that I'm in, guys. I still feel a little off. And God gave me something last night, which is where I'm going. Because I said, God, I need some direction. I need you to help me, because I ain't really got nothing to trip over right now, but I'm still off. So let me tell you what happened. I was reading something, and I was actually going through Audible. Now, right now, I'm rereading John C. Maxwell's Leader Shift. And I'm telling y'all, it's a book that you cannot digest at one time. You got to read some, put it down. You got to read some more, put it down again. You got to keep picking it up and putting it down, because it is a life-altering book. It's a book that provokes you, and it makes you change. And so I'm rereading. It's probably the 8th time I done read it. So I'm in the process of rereading this, but that wasn't what I needed to read last night. I didn't read it last night, but so I go on YouTube, and I'm subscribed to all of these different people that they just give the most awesome words of inspiration and direction, and you know, tips on money and just all this other stuff. And so I go on YouTube, and I just listen to video after video after video. This is what I did last night, and I ran across not John Maxwell, Dave Ramsey's clip to one of his podcasts, guys, and I wrote it down. And God answered where I know I'm off. God answered me. Let me tell now, I don't know if this is for you or just for me, but I felt the need to come on and talk to you all about this. I have always been extremely goal driven, meaning I ain't never been one that you got to prompt, that you got to make work, that you have to make me strive. I ain't never been lazy. I've never been one that only worked with direct instruction. I've always been, you know, if you all have seen my video, I've always been the fix-it girl. And go onto my YouTube channel and check out my videos. It's Nikki Smith. I had to put Madison, my government name, on the end, Mattison, because I ain't know that many Nikki Smiths in the world, right? So as I'm watching this clip, it's about a 10-minute clip from one of Dave Ramsey's podcast, it talked about balance. And it talked about balance in terms of goal setting. Now, for a person like me that's, I'm driven by goals. As soon as I get almost to one goal line, I'm pushing it back and I'm trying to come up with another goal. So that wasn't my issue. But my issue was this. And guys, I wrote this down. Let me reach over here and grab this. My issue was this. He talked about how you have to have goals in more than one area in your life. Now, the interesting part about this is, I think I knew this in my brain. I think I knew this in theory, but I don't think I ever internalized what he said. And y'all need this note-taking time. If y'all watching this, I want you to find some paper, because it was for me. God knew I needed this to help me figure out where I was off, but I didn't know how much this would actually propel me to even do what I'm doing today. So he talked about when you set areas in your life, there are 8 areas that you need to have goals set. And I realized that I've only really focused on maybe 2.5 of these. I mean, I'm being generous when I say a half. He talked about, I'm going to give you the 8, then I'm going to break down what he said. I wish I had known how to get the entire podcast, but I got enough. He said, career obviously is one. You got to set career goals. I've talked endlessly about that. Your career, your ownership, your personal branding, your whatever you're into, you gotta set realistic and what seems like unrealistic goals to make you stretch for your career. And they need to have timelines on them. And he talked about doing what I call biannual, meaning every 6 months, and annual goals. Then let me give you the second one. Then he talked about personal financial goals, guys. It was the best 10 minutes. You gotta set personal financial goals. All of us that are in this business, we do not get a check. And I'm talking to my salon industry people. I teach financial management classes now because I know what it means to break it and fix it and break it and fix it again and be broke and have money. And I've done that endless. And I got to the point I said, no more, no more. And I literally did a crazy dive into everything financial. I'm talking about, I understand real estate, I understand commercial, residential, I understand investments, I understand saving, I understand break-even analysis. If you want to know if you invest this, when you gonna get your return on your investment, I got that. I know cash flow projections. I learned everything I thought a person that did not get a check, meaning ain't nobody setting up no 401k for you. Ain't nobody setting up no SEP IRA. Nobody's doing any of this for you. If you a person that does not get a check, I don't care if you're in real estate, I don't care what you do, you are going to have to treat your money differently, or you not gonna have none. Y'all hear me? You gonna have to look at your money differently. You gonna have to think about debt reduction differently. And I learned that from breaking it and fixing it. So I get it. The personal financial part, I didn't have stupid goals with that. So this would be the second place that you need to have goals. Because a lot of us only have goals in a couple areas, and this is the problem. Then we have business financial goals. And let me talk to all of my salon owners / hairstylists. You are never, and I will say this because I've lived it, you will never be able to fully focus on your business goals, meaning your business that has staff and has all these other workers that are in it. You will never fully be able to focus on your business financial goals or any kind of business goals when you are a slave behind that chair. I will say it again. When you are a slave behind your chair, meaning all you have time for is to focus on these customers, and at the end of that, you are dead, stupid tired. Now, let me retract for a minute. The only way you'll be able to concentrate on more of your goals than you're probably presently doing, is you're going to have to hire people to do that. You're going to have to hire a receptionist, a manager, a supervisor, have a partner. I don't care who it is. But you yourself cannot focus on clients behind a chair and totally focus on your business, financial goals, or any other business goals. You are going to, if you want to do it yourself and you don't want to hire people, or you don't have money to hire people, then you are going to have to figure out how to retract some from behind that chair, or you're not going to make it. You're going to find yourself being very out of balance. Okay. So that's 3. Your business financial goals. And I will say this also, for those of y'all that think just being a great hairstylist is going to make you a successful business person. No, it doesn't. You have to start thinking in terms of business and not thinking you're going to ride off your talent all your life, because talent, as John C. Maxwell says, is never enough. It ain't enough. Your talent going to get, you can't ride off your talent forever, guys. Okay. So then let's go to number 4. He said you got to have spiritual goals. And I didn't write this in any particular order. I just wrote the list down. You gotta have spiritual goals. You gotta have goals on how you're gonna keep growing this inner man that causes you to be more connected, that causes you to be more self-aware, that causes you to desire and to understand that there is a power greater than everything you know. I am a resourceful, driven sister, and I literally felt myself in this wilderness where I'm like, God, I know what to do, but I feel lost. I feel like I'm not connected. Something ain't lining up right, and I don't know what it is, but something. Anybody ever felt that way? Just give me a thumbs up. You like, God, it seemed like when we talk about people, I'm gonna retract for a minute. We talk about people. We think this whole world is just about capitalism and money, and that's cool. We all want it because it does allow you to fulfill your purpose and help people, and whatever it is that you got or want to do, it allows you to do it better. Then explain to me, why do wealthy people commit suicide? Why are wealthy people depressed? And I ain't talking about people that are diagnosed. I'm talking about stuff that ain't necessarily a mental illness. Just something is just off, and they don't know what it is. And I will guarantee you that for a lot of them, it could be the spiritual lack in their lives. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how many shoes you got, clothes you got, friends you got. You have got to be connected to a power that is greater than you, to something that can direct your steps. That spiritual goal is serious. So I'm talking about whether you're going to read your word every day, whether you're going to make it your business. If physically you can't do it, then you need to go to church, or you need to be listening to somebody on the radio. I don't care how you do it. We now have a world that allows us to stay connected physically, digitally, whatever. But we have to make the regimented effort to do our part to make sure that we keep these spiritual goals in check and in line and as a priority. So spiritual goals, he said, that cannot be negated, guys. It cannot be, because your spiritual goals can literally control every other aspect of your life. Okay. Then he talked about physical goals. You know, we got all these keep moving, get moving, just campaigns on us, especially as you get older. We cannot become sedentary physically. We cannot. They tell even people with arthritis that you got to keep moving. You got, if you got issues with your hand, they want you to move them and squeeze a stress ball or whatever it is. But we got to keep moving. And that doesn't mean that we got to go hit the gym every day for 2 hours, but we got to do something. Walking, running, purposely do stuff. Like I'm on my way to Walmart, actually a couple stores, because me and my family, we barbecuing today. So it just means that whatever you're gonna do, whatever your idea of movement is, you need to make it a regular part of your regimen. So I do stuff like I park far. That's where I was going with that. I purposely park far. in parking lots. Like if I go to Walmart, I will literally park. I always park by the cart carousel because I can't stand walking no basket to the carts. So whatever the last cart carousel is, the very last one, I park right next to it. That's what I do. And I walk. If I'm somewhere and it's 4 levels of stairs or less, I walk. Unless the stairway is creepy, I walk. I do the stair. These are just things we do every day. If you know you got to go downtown, if you know you have to do something that you got to park somewhere, purposely just park down the street or something. These are things, physical goals that we have to do, guys, because you ain't getting no older. We have to do physical goals, eating better. I'm going to do a live, and I'm going to do it either tomorrow or, what's tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday. And I'm going to show all of my stylists, because I now live an extremely healthy lifestyle. All of you all that think you cannot eat better and still work. Look, when I was working 17 hours a day, I actually started this where I have a kitchen. When I say a full kitchen in my spot, I can make a whole Thanksgiving dinner and I think it's in like, 40 square feet in my location. And I started this back when I was doing ridiculous amounts of heads a day. I started this back then and I've maintained it and I've gotten solid with it. But this is also part of our physical regimen. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do. I'm going to show you how I buy the food. I don't make no big production of it, but I have made physical fitness, movement, diet. I have made that it's normal for me now, so I don't even have to really think about it. But I'm going to help y'all out with that, okay? Then he talked about, now I'm going to be honest with y'all, this is my biggest struggle. He said you have to have social goals. You have to have goals that keep you just connected to people. If there's a social cause that you are really passionate about, or just sitting down with people that aren't business people, where you're talking about a bunch of nothing and just breathing for a minute, I'm going to be honest with you, that is my weakest area, because I have a hard time turning my brain off. And every time I'm sitting at a social function, at a party, I'm sitting here thinking about what I could be doing while I'm sitting at this party. And I'm learning, guys, I'm teaching myself how to push pause, how to just breathe, how to be okay with every minute of my day, not necessarily being productive from a career standpoint. I'm teaching myself how to embrace that, guys. And so what I did was I started joining social groups that we have regular appointments, and it's just groups that, we're talking about just fun stuff and doing fun stuff. I actually am joining some fitness groups where I can have fitness and fun together. I joined Black Girls Run. So I'm kind of consolidating 2 birds with 1 stone, where we're running. And I used to be a runner, but I'm learning how to run the right way now. So I consolidated that. But this is just a bunch of great Black women that get together and have fun and have healthy barbecues. And, so this is how I have tried to get more social with my life, because I never had social goals. I never cared. It's like, whatever. And so this is something that I have to make a priority, because I should have social goals as well. Because what I realize is happening is my feeling of being lost is because I'm out of balance, guys. I'm real out of balance. I'm like all of this and none of this, and my life just feels off. So I have to, and God knew I needed. Now I heard this, y'all, at 2:00 in the morning with the phone in my bed, like, and just watching stuff. And I'm like, God, I need a word. I need something, because I feel off and everything is going well. But so social goals, that's important. Then he talked about intellectual goals. Now, when you talk about intellectual goals, for all of y'all lazy thinkers out of there, now I don't struggle in that area. I love to embrace, and I have goals on things like this. How many books are you going to read in a year? How many books in a month? Intellectual goals are things that deal with knowledge, and it's about stretching your brain. It's about challenging your thinking. Play Sudoku or something. Sudoku, when you get to them harder games, that stuff, your brain. Learn how to play chess. Learn how to have intellectual experiences. Learn how to sit under people who know 50 times more than you and just listen to them. Talk about life and absorbing everything, and you're absorbing everything that they say, and it starts making you think. Anything that makes you think is an intellectual experience, but we have to purposely set goals. I'm going to go to a class, or I have a show, Salon Owner Strategies Conference. That's a show. Ain't no hair being done. Ain't no hair being done. I am giving you an intellectual experience. People come to that conference, which is in Vegas. So if you all want to know about it, just go on my web, knowledgebynikki1k.com. But my purpose, because I'm a true intellectual person, I think about, really think about everything. My brain doesn't stop. And that's hard sometimes too, because how many of y'all, give me a thumbs up, have a hard time turning your brain off? Don't you wish you had a switch? Sometimes you can just reach in and turn it off when you can't stop thinking. That's me. So reading, stretching, putting myself in positions with people that have way more intellect than I do, know a whole lot more about everything. This is where I get my intellectual experiences. Things that make you think, and make you think outside of the box of what you normally think about. You have to embrace. I love being around different spiritually, from Buddhist to Muslim. I have very close friends. Look, Jesus is my savior, and it's unequivocal that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is what I roll with. But I got friends that are Muslim. I got friends that are Buddhist. I love when we sit down. Ain't nobody trying to convert nobody. We sit down and have the most intellectual conversations that I could ever even explain. And let me tell y'all something I've learned. John C. Maxwell says this also, as you expand your world, meaning as you realize everybody doesn't think like you, they don't necessarily worship what you worship, they don't live like you, but they're doing okay, you start to expand and have a bigger tolerance for people that are different than you. Now, I ain't talking about your belief system and compromising nothing you believe in, because anybody I know, they know I stand flat-footed on what I believe in, and that's it and that's all. But I do allow people to exist outside of my beliefs and still be able to have an intellectual conversation. And let me tell you what I've discovered. One of my very best friends is Buddhist. And I have discovered that when you really sit down and have intellectual conversations with people, even if they're of a different faith, you find that you are far more alike in your belief system than different. That's the thing that's actually quite interesting. We still overall have the same belief system. We just may call it something different. And throw your net out. You would be amazed as you grow and God starts taking you to higher levels of purpose in your life. You are not only going to be around people that are just like you, and you don't want to. You want to be around people who their whole thought process is very different than you. It allows you to expand your world and therefore literally become more tolerant, not in agreement. There's a difference. But you become more tolerant and you become less judgmental. You become less critical. You literally realize that God created a world full of all kind of things. And you have to allow people to come to whatever it is you think they need to come to in their own time. You have to allow people to be who they are. And all you want to do is inspire them to greatness. And you will be amazed how much it will give you this intellectual experience. So you have to purposely set out. If I want to have more of these experiences, I have to put myself in these places to grow, to stretch, to learn with these people. You got to do that on purpose. It doesn't always just happen, because some of y'all don't go nowhere. And the minute you get around some people that you aren't familiar with, or people that in your mind don't believe what you believe, you don't want to talk to them no more. You literally might learn something sometimes by sitting around people who there ain't nothing in their lives like yours. You'd be amazed at how much you can actually learn from those people and have this intellectual experience, okay? Then we got number 8, y'all. Now, I have never felt so convicted in my life And it's not in a certain order, y'all. So don't think I'm talking about these in a certain order. He said family. He said, and let me quote what Dave Ramsey says. He talked about himself, and I felt totally convicted because it was me. He said, I have always been a career-minded man. He said, I've always had the drive, the hustle, the will, and love to work, make money, make moves, come up with career goal setting, because that is my strength. That is the thing that I'm strongest in. He said, but I had to learn real fast that I cannot make my family be my mistress. And when he said that, guys, I felt so convicted. He said, I promise you, if your family is your mistress, that mistress is going to wreak havoc in your life just like a real mistress. Meaning that mistress is going to all of a sudden say, you know what? This ain't going to work. I ain't doing this, and start literally interrupting your career and interrupting, just like he said, because a family was never intended to be your mistress. And he said something that hit me hard. He said, keep treating your family like your mistress and you're going to lose them. And I am so guilty, guys. I'm talking about, I have family that loves me and that will turn the world over for me. And I have consistently made them take the back seat to my business. Now, they actually have accepted it. But is it okay? Now, I know, and they know, because this is how I make my money, that it may always be a little disproportionate. So, how do I fix that, guys? How do I fix making my family, husband, mama, child, all that, I see you when I see you type thing? How do I change that? I realized after going through this entire list, and now he got all this in, guys, in like 10 minutes. I wish I had been able to hear the whole thing. How do I change that? How do I fix that? Because I'm now in a place, and this is where I realized things were so off, because I now am living where I'm all of career. These are my strengths, and you have to write these down and be honest with yourself about where you're strong, where you're weak. You have to actually write down 6 month, 12 month, how am I going to fix this? I'm very strong in career. Anybody that knows me knows that. Personal finance, business finance, I got that. I don't have no issues in that area no more. Spiritual, I can get better. I ain't totally, that's that half I was talking about. But I need to get better. Physical, I just got that in order. So, but I can still make that better. Social, I suck. I have zero social life, really. Even a little bit I try to get in. If I'm there wanting to be somewhere else, then I'm still not connected. So I have to increase my social circles, and I'm very particular about who I spend my personal time with. So I have to find groups and people that I don't mind, but I suck at it. I got to get better. Intellectual, I don't have any struggles there. I am very strong in having intellectual goals set. But in family, I am terrible. Terrible. I have grown up with this concept that, well, this is my job. Y'all just got to understand, and you just got to wait. And I'll see you when I see you. And when he said that, guys, it was literally like God telling me himself, your family ain't tripping on anything that you do. They support what you do 1,000%. But if you don't make more goal setting things and commit to them better, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose the connection. You can literally lose them almost figuratively, or lose them, literally. And so now I'm up to 3 a.m., y'all, and I still get up early. And I wrote all these things down, and I was honest about where I'm strong, where I'm weak, and I started writing down things that I must change, things that I must do, things that I must get in balance. I ain't even gonna say back in balance, because some of these things were never balanced. What I started realizing, and I'll go through them again: career, personal finances, business finances, spirituality, physical goals, social goals, intellectual goals, and family goals. That is 8 areas in our lives that we need to goal set in. We need to say by this is whatever month this is, we need to say by next time this year, if it's family, I want to have had X amount of family trips. Or in my case, I can bring my family with me to do some of the things that I even do career-wise. I can bring them with me. So whatever that is, I need to set in motion for the next 12 months. What am I going to do different with family? What am I going to do different socially? What am I going to do different physically? What am I going to do different spiritually? And I need to have it written down. And I got a huge dry erase board, guys, like huge, like a picture window. And I have started already. I have a small one at my home. So this was last night I was at home. I've already started writing it on my small dry erase board. I have literally set up, because I'm very regimented. Every month I have to give some attention to every single goal that I'm weak in. The ones I'm strong in is easy because that I do naturally. But the ones I'm weak in, I have to write down, if it ain't but once a month, something that I'm going to do differently that is going to totally be focused on just that aspect of my life. If it's spiritual, okay. I know my church has sunrise service, which is, I think it's at the end of this month, where they go down to the beach and we spiritually worship on the beach. So I'm using that for an example. So I need to be there, and I typically don't go because it is like a madhouse and you got to be there 10 hours early, but it's okay. So I need to say, this is what I need to do for the month of August. Then September, what am I going to do for the month of September? What if it means I'm going to buy an audio book that just deals with a certain book? My favorite book of the Bible is the book of James. The book of James, and next would be Proverbs, because the book of James talks about maturity. It talks about how to become a person that's really connected in a very different sort of way, become more self-aware, become a person that intentionally starts to do and make these I love the book of James. So there are things you can buy that literally set up. I can actually do things like, if I want to build my spiritual life, since God gave me the platform, I can start weekly Bible sessions on certain books of the Bible. These are things that I've already kind of written down. So that's how I'm going to constantly strengthen my spiritual life. Physically, I'm already back at the gym. I eat well. The eating I don't have a problem with anymore, but I can start doing things like they have an area here called Swallow Cliff. It's these stairs that I built into this mountain that people work out on, and I call it the devil, y'all, because the stairs ain't no pump. It's 125 of them. You walking up, walking down. People do this. The place is busy all day. So I'm actually Wednesday, I'll be meeting with a friend / client, and we're going to do the stairs because she's also in this cycle of life. Family, I already got crazy stupid plans, and now I'm going to make that 2 times a month. Family night, you all come on with me, go over here. I'm going to incorporate, if I do have to be gone this particular time in my travels, or this day, we may do an extra day and stay and kick it and whatever. I got all this stuff written down. So what are you going to do? I know that me being off now is because my life is so out of balance. It's all of this and none of this. And I feel like that. I feel like I'm weighted over here with all this great stuff, but over here, my reservoir is empty. It's thirsty over here. And it's just, I thank God every day, because when I say, y'all, God gives me crazy favor. And when God knows I'm serious about something, I could literally just be sitting like, God, I really need to know that last person that I talked to about this, that, and the other. I literally, guys, could be sitting thinking and going through emails and trying to figure out how to contact a particular person that has some information that I need. And I promise you, as God is my witness, I will literally go through my emails, and all of a sudden an email will come up that's from that person that I've been looking for the last 20 minutes. This is how God works in my life. And I'm still blown away, even though I have seen his work. I mean, When I say I have lived under the auspice of favor, when I don't even know which way to go, and God will literally line up my steps. And this is also, let me say this too, why I know I was off outside of even just being imbalanced. It was because I have always, even when I didn't know why I was doing what I was doing, I've always followed what I call this natural order. Meaning, I have always been very instinctively connected to people, to energy, to my surroundings, and I've always kind of followed this natural thing. God has always, even when I didn't know what it was, he always gave me this thing that would prompt me to move. And okay, I was doing this, but no, you need to go here now. And I learned at least 10 years ago how to obey that thing. Meaning, when the Bible talks about obedience is better than sacrifice, it's the truth. I have learned to instinctively know, even though I have no clue why I need to go this direction, but I have learned how to instinctively know when to shift. God has given me awesome discernment and instincts, and it has been the thing that has regulated how I've been able to push pause and say, you know what? This is not quite working right now, and I don't know what else I need to do, but I need to do something else. And I have moved in that direction all my life, totally not understanding it. I remember when T.D. Jakes wrote the book called Instinct, and I probably have read that a million times. That book helped me understand that thing that God had put inside of me that knows when I need to move. And I don't have a problem acting on that thing. Knows when I'm talking in the middle of a presentation and God will say shift and start talking about this. And I have no idea why I'm even going that direction. I have learned since a kid how to move when that thing that we call it, this gut feel, whatever you want to call it. And I've learned to know that means stop, pay attention, think, watch people. I have learned even in that thing, I can meet a person and I don't even know much about you, but something with you gives me pause. It unsettles me. And everything by all account that I could see, you seem like a great person. You seem like a person that it would be an asset to whatever I'm getting involved in. But I've learned how to not question that thing. I've learned how to say, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to leave that person, that thing, I'm going to leave that alone, because God is telling me instinctively, don't get connected to that. I've learned how to do that thing. And so I'm here in this state again, and I've been feeling lost for the last couple months, really. Like, okay, things are going well, but I'm off. Something is off. And I realize it's because my life is out of balance. I have not made these same goal-setting principles apply to the weak areas of my life. And so I'm feeling like the weak areas are actually taking over. And as I started this video, I told you all how I thank God for giving me signals. Like, my body literally gives me signals. I'm talking about diarrhea, constipation, face breakout, can't sleep. And it's not a worry type of thing. I'm not a worrier. It's not that. It's God letting me know that something is unsettling, that I need to change. I need to make some things different. This is not the order that you need to take. You need to do something. And so I thank God for those signals. You know, Joyce Meyer says in her book way back when about managing your emotions, she says all the time, if God didn't want you to cry, he wouldn't have gave you tear ducts. I believe God gives us these things, and it manifests differently depending on who you are, where you find yourself sad for no reason. You ain't got nothing to be sad about, but it's God letting you know that something is off. Something is not quite right. And I remember by me going through so many huge storms, I really felt like, shoot, I done came out unscathed with this. I'm good. I don't nothing fluster me. And it did teach me some things, and it did make me stronger, but it didn't make me invincible. It did not make me where I don't need help. And I still don't need direction, and I still don't need to be convicted and to be let known by either people or just through something I read that this ain't gonna work. So just letting you all into a little snapshot, and hopefully this helped you all. If you're in this place and you feel off and you feel like something is not working, I want to encourage you to push pause for a minute. I want to encourage you to sit still, be still, because some of y'all, like I have to keep myself from doing, some of you all just get busy. You just start moving and just doing stuff instead of saying stop, slow down, what's really going on here? And I will tell you that thing starts to become more honed and really more perfected when you have your spiritual life in order. I'm telling you, there is no knowledge, there is no book, there is no amount of experience that you can go through that will ever be greater than God directing your steps. It doesn't exist. I don't care how much you know, how much you do, how much money you got, or who you know. There is a time when you're going to have to let God say to you, because all of us are trying to live out our purpose. All of us are trying to figure out why we're here. What is it really that I'm built to do? Or where is it that really God wants to take me? And in that, balancing our lives and being more spiritually connected, if I had to change the order of the things that I just told you, I would put spiritual first. And spiritual ain't just about showing up at the church. It ain't just about sitting in the pew or on the chairs, because you know we got arenas now. It ain't just about that, guys. It's about understanding how there is a force in this world that is bigger than you, that knows more than you, that has greater vision than you. It is about you knowing and understanding that I don't care how much money you get, how much you acquire, how many people you got on your team, you are going to have to always remember that if you don't stay connected, or if you don't seek out, for those that may not even have it at all, if you don't seek out connecting to that thing that makes this world go around, to the thing that makes the sun rise and set, to the thing that makes it rain, to the thing that makes it stop, to the thing that makes all these hurricanes go on, to the thing that makes them stop. If you don't figure that thing out, I don't care what you do, salon owner, real estate, I don't care what you do, you will still come to places where you're lost, and you will not know how to get unlost. You will not know how. I thank God that my mother raised me in church, and my mother taught me godly principles, and then I learned more. My mother told me a couple months ago, she said, girl, I wish I had the faith that you had. That just warmed my heart. Mom, I got stupid faith, y'all. I got stupid, crazy faith. I've learned how to say, God, I don't know what to do. I need you to help me here. If you don't have that, I guarantee you, when you get to these places of loss, you can be a millionaire and be depressed. I remember being the brokest in my life and the happiest in my life at the same time. It ain't just about money, okay? Now, I want you to be a good steward over what God gave you, but it isn't just about money. So, and if you're going to make it about money, then ask God, what do I do with this money that you've given me? Because it ain't just for you. All right? So I'm getting ready to go because this is family day. I was supposed to do work today. I told them, well, no, we're not going to do that today. We're going to do that tomorrow. Because today we going to kick it, and I'm going to go see Hobbs versus Shaw, and we're going to barbecue, and we're going to sit and fall asleep around each other, and whatever it is that we feel like we need to do. And that's what's happening today. So I let you all be a part of my world this morning, because I'm in front of the grocery store to get some stuff for barbecuing. And I will see you all tomorrow. I will be on in the morning at 9 o'clock. I got a word for you tomorrow. And if anybody's interested in coaching, I coach. I've said for years, and it's funny how God says that ain't what I said. I coach about 100 people. It was actually more than that, but my coaching groups have about 100, and then I have several that are just independent thing. I call it consulting, and it's about 160 nationwide. That's a lot of people, so I'm always on the phone. It's always something. I have said for years, when people when I'm coaching them in I'm a business development coach, or what they call a success coach. I have tried to coach people in that area, and y'all will have stuff going on, and y'all will try to pull me and stuff and be like, Nikki, I know we supposed to be talking about this, but you got this, that going on. And you know what's so funny? I have told people I ain't no life coach. I've told them that 1,000 times, but guess what, guys? God says different. God says, well, maybe you don't want to call it that, but I'm going to pull you or push you in that direction, because there's a reason I let you go through so much pain, so much betrayal, so much sabotage, so much of all of this stuff. There's a reason I let you experience it. I didn't let you experience it just so you can tell people how you made it over. I let you experience it because I wanted you to fully understand how to help people when they going through. So as much as I will say I ain't a life coach, the people that I coach be like, yes, you are. So guess what, guys? I chose the intellectual route. I said, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do, I don't care how many times I say it, I keep getting inducted into this. And I actually got a certification in life coaching. I actually said, okay, I can't get around it, because I can't even help you move in your business until we get this personal thing going. Now, just understand, life coaches, they deal with your past. They deal with the things that hinder you from moving forward. Business coaches deal with your future. We deal with how you're going to get there. Where are you going? But you do know, and I get it, it is no way to successfully help a person get where they're trying to go if you don't deal with where they came from. All of us are nothing but compilations of our past, whether that's good or bad. We got things that we don't even realize we still do because of this. We don't even realize that we're still acting out something that we aren't even in that position anymore. That's where things like learned helplessness come from. That's actually a diagnosed condition. And so as much as I have said that, I realize, okay, God, so just teach me more about it. Direct me to where I can learn more about how to help people. If that means I got to take a psychology course, whatever I need to do, I am willing to stretch intellectually and set that goal so that I can be more effective. So if any of you all are interested in coaching, I got all kind of different things that I do with coaching. God, it's just a lot. I see somebody already sent me something on Messenger. I will respond when I get out the store. Send me something, message me and say, look, can you help me? I need some help. I need some coaching. And I will tell you all this, I stay in my lane. If it's some area of help that I feel like I am not experienced in, I ain't gonna be faking it. I don't have no problem telling people I really don't know, but I do have someone that can help you in that area. I've partnered with people that can help you in areas that they are stronger and I am weaker. Because part of me even being able to do this balance thing and being honest is I have to acknowledge where I'm strong and where I'm weak. And I have to fix that. And knowing that you're weak and being honest about being weak in areas actually is the strongest thing you can possibly do. It is very ignorant and very, it's just not smart to walk around like you strong and everything and like you got it all together when you don't. Because that will eventually, God will expose that. And if you want to get it together, then there are people like me and thousands of others that can help you do that. So you don't have to walk this alone. You don't have to be in a place where you're lost and you stay there. But you do have to intentionally seek out whatever you need to fix, do, talk, who you need to talk to, what you need to read. That is your responsibility. Okay? So I'm going to sign off, guys. I love y'all on this Saturday. I thank God for this platform. I do not take for granted social media, which is something any of you all that know me well know I hate it to death. I didn't care what people said. I'm not doing this social media thing. And then God said different. God said, yes, you are. And God lined my life up till I knew that natural order, that natural progression. I knew when it was time, and it has changed my life. Like, unbelievably, guys. So I thank God for this platform, and I ask that we those of us that use it and know its power, that we use it for things that actually help and not hinder. You know, when you're going through Facebook, YouTube, all this, you got to sometimes kind of go through a couple things and filter through all the madness. And I get it. It all works for someone because we're all different. But those of you all listening to me, if you value what I'm saying and you have a platform, use your platform to build people, to encourage people, to inspire people, to assist people in whatever it is. Use your gift that you have. Allow yourself to be transparent at times and let the world see that you may not have it all together, that you may not be perfect, that even people they admire and that they think you got all this going on. I will tell you from living it that people will give you a greater level of love and respect when you allow them to see that your blood is red just like theirs, that your stuff stinks sometimes just like theirs. You don't know everything. You don't have it all together all the time. And God will give you those times when it is time to share this, okay? So you got to get the spiritual goals in order if you ain't there. So deuces, happy Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's get our lives in balance, guys. Talk to you soon.